Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Bravely Default. Last time, we arrived here in Eternia and met with Idia's parents, Major and Brave, and we learned of an interesting love story between the two, and also Master Kamiizumi, the Swordmaster. It was an interesting dynamic that we got to learn about, and we also confronted Brave, who gave us a little bit more information about why he was doing what he's done, and he made a pretty decent compromise with Agnes, leaving the crystal's fate in her hands. This time, though, we have some unfinished business. In the previous episode, we were stopped briefly by Victor and Victoria as soon as we entered Central Command here, and, of course, Victoria, as you would expect, kind of had one of her little fits again. So, we're going to go ahead and take them down. We gave them enough time to go ahead and heal up, and we don't want to give them any more time. But real quick, remember, Victor and Victoria have a very special gimmick. Victoria loves to poison your team, and that's how she utilizes most of her damage. So please, 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 I highly recommend you equip star pendants on your entire team to mitigate that main source of damage. She'll still hit pretty hard with her dark magic attacks and Victor with his holy, but this removes a huge problem with the encounter. Also, if you didn't notice, Agnes, I have on Arcanist here. I think Victoria deserves to have a taste of her own medicine, so Agnes is going to be going on the offense this encounter, and I'll be utilizing a few really cool strategies with Arcanist to bring down the duo. The main thing, though, is I still have Group Cast All on her as a support ability so that she can utilize her black magic and white magic to its fullest extent. Other than that, though, I think everyone else is roughly the same. Nothing really too crazy to point out. So, let's go ahead and head inside.
Victor!
Silence, if you please. She would likely perish if we were to disturb her now.
It's happening again.
Again? What do you mean?
Oh, I was just thinking out loud.
Allow me to tell you a story, if I may. Once upon a time, in a place not of this land, there was an orphan child suffering an incurable disease. Her name was Victoria. Though still a child, she was abhorred by those around her due to her affliction, as the orthodoxy cast her aside.
Huh? The orthodoxy?
She was taken in and raised by the orthodoxy soon after her birth.
This is new.
She simply waited upon her inevitable demise, all the while gasping in pain and despair. Then, a chance meeting changed her life. On death's door and abandoned, she was found by the Grand Marshal, who wandered the lands after renouncing the orthodoxy himself. He took her to Juliana, nursed her to health, then brought her to this realm for treatment.
My father did this?
How can you not know, as his daughter?
He never spoke a word of this.
Were it not for his lordship, her fragile life would have soon been snuffed out. I was pulled from my studies on the Earth Crystal to treat her. With the help of my father, who studied the amplification of white magic, she survived. But the treatment was not yet perfected, and she was left with terrible side effects. She suffers from periodic fits, which cause her body to writhe in pain. Her dread of these fits eventually caused her to lose all control over her emotions. But perhaps the most significant side effect was the cessation of her physical growth. Since my father and I began her treatment here, she has always had the childlike form you see.
If she is in such pain, how can you force her to use her powers?
I do not need you to tell me that. After the death of my father, I took over his research and have poured my heart into healing her body. But could not relieve her agony, no matter how I tried. Each time her tiny form is racked with pain, I ask myself, knowing the result, would I still have intervened as I did? But ever is my answer the same. As long as I draw breath, I will see that she does too. No matter how she suffers, I'll not allow her to die. She is both my crime and my redemption. My ego, my joy. I dedicate my entirety to her, and know no greater pleasure.
What nonsense. I mean, really, Victor, that was so boring and really long, too.
Forgive me, Victoria. How do you fare now?
Back to my old self, but I don't think I could take another one of those fits. Now, let's take care of these fools once and for all.
Stop it! What is the point of us fighting?
The point, you ask? Because you disgust me, Edea.
What?
That is reason enough to fight, no. I wish to see your corpses flayed before me, fools!
Well, here we go. The dynamic duo is back again. That's some interesting new information we gathered. Honestly, it's not anything too helpful when it comes to trying to sympathize with these two freak shows, but it's interesting enough. So, Victor and Victoria, once again, haven't changed very much. So far, Brave is the only one that's really showcased his ability to adjust his strategy. Let's go ahead and just White Wind real quick. So, Victor and Victoria this time around, they weren't that much of a threat our first time really taking them down back in Chapter 4. And honestly, my strategy won't change all too much. My main thing here, though, is I'm going to be trying to utilize a slightly different strategy, mainly through the use of ritualism, in order to take them down. First things first, though, I'm going to set up a few weaknesses, and then on yes, I'm gonna Brave twice and really try to inflict poison on the duo. I want to make sure I can get this afflicted on them. And then Ring a Bell, we're gonna go ahead and White Wind again because he took a lot of damage there. Here we go. Bendaga, Corpse, that's an instant kill, it's fine. There's Fairy's Aid, missed. Oh, come on. Okay, so Victoria's got an amp on her. Thankfully, we can remove this, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Let's try and dispel that buff. And then Ring a Bell, we're going to, because Edea is on a ticking clock now, let's go ahead and set up a weakness. And we took down Victor first last time. We took down Victoria first last time. So let's go ahead and take down Victor first this time, just to see what happens. There's Corpse, going on Anyas, Dispel. Get rid of those buffs on the amps. And then Tiz, let's go ahead and Moonshadow Victor. And we'll go ahead and Free Lunch just for next turn. And then Edea, we're also going to... Actually, we'll just default with her. Is that worth it? Yeah, let's go ahead and default. And then Anyas, we'll try and Dispel... Actually, no, it's not worth to try and Dispel my team because it'll get rid of her sword magic, and I don't want that. And then we're going to Curse Victor to lower his physical defense so that we do extra damage next turn. Speed things up. Victor isn't really that big of a threat. Most of his abilities can be mitigated through the use of Dispel. So if he tries to equip Fairy's Aid or Fairy's Ward or anything like that, that'll give him buffs or debuffs. Just silence him with a Dispel, and you can go on your merry way. I'm not getting what I want here, unfortunately, so I'm going to go ahead and just default with Anyas as she awaits her inevitable demise. And I do find it pretty cool that Anyas and Edea are the ones that are doomed right now. It makes a lot of sense. I didn't put the lightning weakness on. That's okay. He might die here anyways. Come on, almost. Almost. That's okay. There goes the Edea. Tiz doesn't have his free lunge anymore, so let's go ahead and just equip it again, and then we'll just amp strike and hopefully finish him off. And then Agnes, we'll just go ahead and raise Idia just for this last turn that she's alive, and then we'll just White Wind in case Ring a Bell goes second. Nope. Okay, that's fine. Free lunch, finish him off.
I am sorry, Victoria.
Nonsense! Open your eyes, Victor! I will not permit you to die before me! With Victor gone, my treatment will stop. The next fit I have will be my last. So, with the short time I have left, I'd like nothing more than to crush you all!
Well, you're doing a fairly decent job of that with your Doom. She's got it on everyone. At least once now. Yeah, so she does not seem to be as, distraught over the death of her companion as Victor was. Victor was going mad, man. Okay, so Victoria alone, she can't really do much other than doom us and, utilize Dark as her main attack, because, again, she needs to poison you in order to do most of her damage. That's her whole gimmick.
What do you mean I disgust you? I don't remember doing anything to you.
But of course you don't. You have your health and blood relatives that care for you deeply. You live a life of comfort with many friends and teachers. And yet, despite these blessings, you rebel. How can you display such arrogance, Adia? I find your very existence offensive.
I fail to see how that is justified.
Is that right? You have no concept of the suffering of us have-nots. Justified or not, I despise you. Why don't you just roll over and die now?
I'll do my best not to do that. Oh, she's corpsing Agnes. That missed, though, thankfully. And there goes Tiz. Okay. We'll have to recover a little bit here, but for the most part, I think we'll be a-okay. Agnes has a Rod ability. Piercing Bolts. I'm gonna try my best to try and... I'll default with Agnes for right now, because Ring a Bell's gonna go down next turn anyways. And she can raise multiple people at once. So we'll just do that. We'll default with Idia. We're gonna Brave. And we will do Raise all allies and then a Cura. It won't be much, but it'll be something, maybe to survive Dark. There we go. Get the Raise off, get the heal. That's not great HP, but Ring a Bell could probably salvage this a little bit. What I am going to do is... let's see here. I'm going to try again really hard to poison her because I really want to give her a taste of her own medicine. It's missed, not blocked, which means it is possible to poison them. It's just very difficult. And then Ring a Bell, I'm going to compound a... unfortunately, he loses his double HP stat because he died. So I'm going to have to work a little bit harder here. Let's just do a High Potion and an Ether to get him a little bit of an extra bump in HP, and then we'll White Wind. There we go, Quarter Elixir, heal up. Alright, nice. Come on! No! No! Whatever, okay, fine. Whatever, okay. Idia's going down next turn, which is really unfortunate. So we'll just prep this turn. And honestly, there isn't really anything new to say, so I'll see you at the end of the encounter.
Victor, do not leave me alone.
Alright, the duo are down. Yeah, their encounter hasn't changed very much, though it is neat that you can see the difference whether or not you took down Victor or Victoria first, and see the reactions. Definitely feel a lot more for Victor than Victoria in this case. But that's that. I never could get Arcanist to work, which is really unfortunate. Maybe I'll try a bit better later down the road somewhere to get it to work. Let's get rid of this and bring back Healing Lore. I could potentially This is just future me thinking. I could probably level her Spearmaster up to get her Holy One. It's not a bad idea, but for right now, I'm not going to worry about that. Let's just go ahead and heal everyone up. I'm going to go heal up, but we do have one more location that I want to go to. And also, I completely forgot, but let's go ahead and take a look at Nerende Village. Earth Mallet for level 10 combat item shop. Let's see what we get for the level 11 bonus. Idia's Garb. Alright, that's another costume. And there's a funny little story behind this outfit, but I'll get to that at a later date. I think for right now, we'll go ahead and level up the Hill Parts shop to level 10 to get Cure Doom, Doom Resistance up, and Death Resistance up. Final level up for this town, too. Alrighty, I'm all healed up and ready to go. So our final destination for today's episode is actually the Vampire's Castle. Now, the last time we were here, we had to go on a huge fetch quest to actually unlock the stupid dungeon, and then we had a huge lore dump reveal multiple times over here. I wonder what we'll have now that we have entered a new world. Maybe we have to do everything again? Who knows? Let's find out. No new cutscene introduction? Okay. And it looks like the jewels are already right here. Okay. I do want to note, real quick, that every single dragon pendulum can be interacted with again, and you can fight them again if you really want to. They give you similar rewards that they did, that they had back in Chapter 4, but hey, you can refight these guys if you want for extra JP. I won't be, though, but there's the same strategies that I utilized back then will work here as well. If that's something that interests you, go right ahead. But we're not going to be doing that today. I am going to be heading inside Vampire Castle instead.
Just as cold as before.
Now, looking around, we still don't have any way of accessing blue chests, but I'm going to reiterate once again. Go and grab chests that you may have not. Don't forget that there is the hidden Blood Blade back here. Very valuable item that I'll be doing some funny stuff with later down the road. But let's see if there's any new information to glean from these paintings.
It is the same portrait as before, and just as big.
Right. And what a beauty his mother was. The same description, too. Lester, eldest son of the House of De Rosso. Future clergyman of the Crystal Adventists and cardinal of the Crystal Orthodoxy. Born in the land of Eternia on a cold winter's day.
It seems a struggle between the old faith and the orthodoxy arose here in this world, too.
Never has a visitor spoken of matters of such import. 'Tis as if you have been to this castle before.
Lord De Rosso!
Ah, you know me then. You must be... Yes, I see. And it seems there is much you already know. Yes, I see.
That's interesting. All right. So I think Lester has probably caught on to the fact that we might not be as natural as he might have first thought, which is pretty interesting. So I'm not going to bore you with all of the walking. I'm just going to jump around and look at all the paintings and show you what he says. So here comes a cutscene montage. Let's go.
Lord De Rosso's ordainment portrait.
From the old faith to the orthodoxy, an era of great change that sealed Lord De Rosso's fate.
The meaningless power struggle took place in this world as well, it appears.
You know much. How uncanny. Almost disturbing. Which is perhaps ironic coming from me.
Lord De Rosso!
I see. My fate has already...
Lord De Rosso's castle siege painting.
This is where his never-ending struggle began.
And his never-ending sorrow.
So, you feel pity for me? Well, I suppose stranger things have happened.
Lord De Rosso.
The question is, to what extent do you... No, let us leave that for another time.
Lord De Rosso's portrait of immortality.
Accept me, and I shall grant life everlasting. Though it shall be filled with grief, thou shalt have all eternity to wreak vengeance upon thine enemies. Who or what was talking to him, and why?
Even I know not, just as I know not how you came to know those words.
Lord De Rosso.
Accept me. Ah, yes. Eternal grief and eternal vengeance.
Lord De Rosso's war landscape.
The war that changed the very land we walk upon. I shudder when I think of the manner in which it was waged.
Care for a taste of my power? The power to fell mountains and tear the earth asunder.
Lord De Rosso!
Then again, you people might... Well, we would simply have to try it to find out what would happen. No.
Lord De Rosso's portrait of the Archbishop.
So Juliana was responsible for cutting off the Vestals and temples from the corrupt orthodoxy. But the description for this portrait only tells of the time he was hatching his plot.
Precisely. The actual events therein shall be told in other paintings.
Lord De Rosso.
Or perhaps you have already. Yes, 'tis in the realm of possibility for those such as you.
Lord De Rosso's asterisk painting.
There are asterisks in this world too. It seems the sage here in this world also wanted to reduce the orthodoxy's authority. I've always wondered what they were made of. They have such a warm, bewitching glow.
Truth be told, he never shared the secret of their making with me either.
Really? He kept the secret from you too?
The next time we meet, I shall have him explain it to me.
And except for the painting about the angel, that's all of the new dialogue for the other paintings here. Some pretty interesting stuff, though mostly it only covered the fact that De Rosso has very quickly realized that we are not of this world. And he seems to be fairly chill about it. So just real quick, I made some changes to my gear, re-equipped some of my accessories. In terms of my abilities, nothing really has changed all that much, though there is there's something that I would highly recommend. If you do have Spirit Master, fairly high level, I would suggest maybe utilizing it. I don't think I will right now, but it is something that you can look at doing. Also, Aerie has a bad feeling about this place. Let's hurry on to the temple. Sorry, Aerie, I want to get my daily dose of funny vampire beatdowns real quick, so you just have to wait a little bit. Sorry. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to De Rosso.
I commend you for making it this far. The final painting lies beyond this throne. I shall reveal it to you if you defeat me in battle.
You're referring to the angel painting.
Precisely. You know much that has yet to happen, my friends. The last test is a test of strength. I shall only reveal the painting to those whom I deem worthy. One might also say that there is no need for those who are unworthy to lay their eyes upon it. But be forewarned, I am a formidable foe. I trust you are well prepared.
Let us do battle. Lester DeRosso hasn't changed all that much from his original encounter. He still has a fairly set pattern. Remember, if he utilizes BP Drain, immediately default, because he will utilize his energy bursts to do massive physical damage. In terms of his other attacks, Bone Crush is still in his repertoire, and it will deal fairly decent damage if you are missing any HP, so make sure you're topped up at the end of every turn. Right now I'm gonna have everyone default. Agnes, I'm going to actually, I was thinking of this while I was watching the cutscene. I'm gonna bring back her staff and shield, just to give her extra defense. Let's go ahead and give her the dark shield, actually, I think. Yeah, the dark shield sounds fine. And we'll go ahead and have Agnes go haste everyone to make sure that we are constantly outspeeding DeRosso, because again, that was something that I mentioned in our first encounter. Make sure you outspeed him. It's very, very important. You can deal a lot of good damage to him with mitigations, buffs, and debuffs if you can just outspeed the guy. It also keeps your HP healthy if you decide to do Bone Crush. There's Battle Thirst. You guys know what we have to do. We're gonna go ahead and default. This shouldn't kill us, hopefully? Maybe? Okay. Thankfully, our extra HP there. Hey, Ring a Bell Learn Energy Burst. There we go. Thankfully, our extra HP made that a little bit easier to survive. Even if I wasn't a higher level than I was whenever I did the grinding session a few episodes back, I think I still would have lived that fairly comfortably. But that brings up a good point. I think what I'm going to do with Tiz, is I'm going to lower his speed. That was something that I was fairly lax in doing my first time around, and it cost me an actual run of the fight. So let's go ahead and set this up, and then Agnes, we've got the speed up. Next, I'm going to set up re-raise. That way, if things do go wrong, we can fix it. And then Ring a Bell, we're going to go ahead and Brave, White Wind, and then we're going to Curse him. We're going to use his own abilities against him. White Wind, there's the heal, there's Curse, get his attacks down. Again, he's mostly physical base. Shin Smash, there's Battle Thirst. He's going again for another Energy Burst? Okay, buddy. Energy Burst. Yeah, look at that. It does not do anything. Especially with, like, Tiz's default guard boost. Yeah, that's not doing much. Though, he might go for Bone Crush now that he's dealt damage to us. So we need to play fairly careful. Let's default with Tiz. Idia, she's got her weapon equipped. She's got her sword magic equipped. We'll have Agnes go ahead and set up 2 protects to get our defenses maxed. And then Ring a Bell, we're going to Brave again. We're going to White Wind to top everyone up. And then we're going to have him compound a weakness for our good old buddy here. He's got so many insect antennas. Wow. Lightning, Fulminate Shard. There we go. His HP stat has not changed at all, which is really interesting. So if your strategy worked in the first set, then go ahead and do that. Oh, I didn't do the right ability. I wasn't paying attention. No. Okay, well, hey, there we go. We saw what re-raise does. Though we might be in a bit of a pickle now. What I'm gonna do is free lunch with Tiz. We're gonna try and just play this normally. We're going to increase our crit rate. Actually, no. Katanas have a very high crit rate normally. That's why I use them. And then we'll just attack DeRosso. I wanna get used to these buffs as much as I can. Agnes, she's currently in a bit of a rough spot. We're gonna haste up for her. And then we'll go ahead and just set a protect on her as well. Just to get that rolling. And then Ring a Bell, we will just, not Hellfire. No, not this time. We're gonna White Wind. And hopefully he outspeeds, maybe? Come on. Okay, well, we won't see for a second. He does have Hermes Sandals on, which does increase his speed, but let's hope it's enough. And then Idia's gonna go on the offense here. She doesn't have Quick, so it won't do too much damage, which is unfortunate. Hey, there's a decent chunk. White Wind. Okay, we got the heal off. Please do Bone Crush. Yeah, okay. I figured him out. There's another genome absorbed. Let's go. And then we're going to have Tiz, because unfortunately that ran out. I'm actually going to have him play more of a... actually, you know what? I'm going to lower his speed. I think Ring a Bell outspeeds Tiz, so we're going to play this actually fairly greedy. We're going to have Agnes actually utilize Quick here. And when we're going to have Ring a Bell, Curse, to get his defenses down. There we go, there's Curse. There's Quick to get us an extra damage boost. We get some more damage. Amp Strike, Amp Strike. There we go. Graviga. Only hit Tiz, that's good. I'm a little bit of a coward. I'm not going to risk anything that I shouldn't. So we're going to play safe. We're going to heal up. Re-raise, pop it back on Agnes. Bone Crush, there we go. Glad I did that. And then Tiz, we're going to re-lunge. Actually, let's carry the special moves. Default, default, default. Just so it gets to it faster. Don't want the song to rung out. There we go. Continues the buffs. DeRosso doesn't have much HP left, I assume. Graviga. Hit 3 people this time. Wow, okay. Unfortunately, it hit Ring a Bell, and it does max HP base, so he's not in a good spot to do his damage. So we're going to free lunch and then amp strike. Agnes... I'm thinking ahead a little too much here. Let's have Idia attack 3 times. We're going to have Agnes Brave fully. We're going to have her haste, just to re-up it. And then we're going to have her Cura as much as possible. I'm going to have Ring a Bell concoct a Coleman Shard. And then I'm also going to have him heal. Just so if DeRosso decides to do Bone Crush, it won't put Ring a Bell down. Heal everyone up. I might not even have had to do that. Wow, yeah, I didn't have to do that. Oh my goodness. Man, even without the Lightning Bane, that's insane. Free lunch, Amp Strike. Battle Thirst, default, default. Energy Burst. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's what happens when you don't default. But they were in the negative anyways. But the re-raise saved me. But we're gonna play safe again here. We're gonna have Agnes haste. But we're gonna have Ring a Bell, White Wind. There we go, get everyone up. Because he might do Bone Crush. Yep, Bone Crush. Again, the White Wind is saving my butt right now, dude. It's insane. We're gonna have Tiz go ahead and lower... we'll have him lower DeRosso's speed and lower his physical defense. We're gonna have Idia reapply her magic. Then we're gonna have Agnes. Everyone's got haste. So we're gonna apply Protect. The re-raise I don't think will matter too much. I'm not gonna play that greedy anymore. And then we'll lower his physical attack anyways with Curse. There we go.
How can this be? The immortal Lester DeRosso has been defeated?
Okay, that was a little anticlimactic, but hey, it worked out! And we got a Mega Elixir for our troubles. No XP, unfortunately. I guess I should have been on a job that could have gained a JP, but whatever.
I am a man of my word. Behold, the final painting.
I grow weary. I bid you, leave me in peace. And nothing new there. Alright, let's see this final painting.
Lord DeRosso's angel painting.
It's as he said. She looks just like Agnes.
You can say that again.
Yes, they could be twins. Is there really such a resemblance?
Did I speak thus in the previous world?
Oh, Lord DeRosso. I don't recall if you truly said that.
I seem to recall he did. At least I think.
Well, no matter. The truth is, there is a striking resemblance.
Lord De Rosso. There is one last matter I fail to understand.
Why Juliana and I forgave the rebel Templar, even rendering him aid?
Yes.
Juliana and I conspired in a masquerade. He rose through the Orthodoxy's ranks for vanquishing me, and I went into hiding. That was when the first of the Angel's omens came to be. The land's ringing Eternia began to rise. While the second omen, the plague, had not yet come to pass, we continued to watch over the crystals and the Orthodoxy. So did 1,700 years pass in relative peace, save for a handful of suspicious crises surrounding the crystals. It was not till 30 years ago that the omens returned as if out of legend. First, the land's ringing Eternia began to rise once more. 10 years later, the Great Plague struck, whereupon I knew the Great Chasm was coming. It was then that we began our preparations to strike. It was evident from this series of events that the crystals were involved in some manner. Before the appearance of the Great Chasm, we would assault the temples and seize the crystals. We readied our forces for this plan. I entrusted the task to the Templar, a former cleric of the Orthodoxy. He was also to lead the newly mustered host.
Father.
While far from infallible, that was the best response I could manage for the coming of the Great Chasm. But I was soon faced with another problem, for the Orthodoxy began conspiring to hold the Grand Ritual in a bid to regain authority.
The Grand Ritual? But that is forbidden! It raises the energy long accumulated within a crystal to a cataclysmic level!
Indeed, and the Templar feared the heavy toll it would exact upon the crystal. He counseled us to dispatch our forces to the head temple with the greatest of haste. Were we to overlook the Grand Ritual and focus upon the coming Great Chasm? Or was the ritual the event that would bring upon the chasm? To wait or attack? The Templar and I could not agree, and so it was. He alone decided to lead a great host against the head temple and the Temple of the Crystal.
That is why my father did what he did?
As I have said before, the Templar is not the sort to send troops into battle over private matters, be they concerned with his wife or not. We threw our backing behind the Templar-led forces. Forever did we believe in his tireless resolve and action. And though the one we backed is the one you have defeated, that is perhaps but a small link in the great chain of events of which the Angel foretold.
And so we have pretty much the clearest picture of events of what has happened since the beginning events of the game, and how everything that we have fought against has come to be. That is what you can learn here, especially if you defeat Brave before coming to the Vampire Castle here in Chapter 5. It's really interesting stuff, and it gives us a lot to think about. A lot of it we can kind of guess, but it's great to have confirmation. Talking to De Rosso again, he doesn't really say anything different. If we really look at this painting, though...
The painting of the... It all started with this face.
Unfortunately, there isn't anything too crazy to mention with that. But that's a good place to end off for today. So, next time on Bravely Default, we have a few unfinished things we have to do, and looking at Aerie being all antsy over there, I think it's best if we go and finish our job and awaken the crystals. This will be Fire and Earth that we'll be tackling, and any remaining little last links regarding the crystals and what they can do for you in terms of the narrative. And then after that, we're going to be seeing a few extra little things that we can do here in Chapter 5 regarding Vampire and especially Summoner. Wow, it's kind of a little bit of a repeat of a few episodes ago. And then we will also head back into Grand Ship And if the Holy Pillar rises again, we might as well try it again, right? So, with all that said, I'll see you soon.